youngest house.
And we are live. Thank you so much for joining us on the Cthulhu and Cairo review. We are here to talk about episodes 72 through 75, minus episode 74, because that was their year long review. We're kind of doing that as we go along. So, um, 72 through 75, they're in Russia. Man, are they in Russia? They're in the Russiest of Russias.
I think they're actually in
Siberia, yeah.
Siberia by the end. By the time things come to a halt in 75, if
Yeah,
I remember correctly.
it's
Yeah.
it's
This
rough.
is, I will say, like, I know I'm fuck Raz in that episode the way he did. Like, really, that is the cliffiest of cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Oh,
It-
great?
the 73 one. Yeah, right before 75.
yeah, so well,
Yeah.
75 it ended, and it's like I know there's something really big coming, and then that's he just cuts that episode right there, and I'm just like,
Mm.
really?
But yeah, 73 was hard to
Oh,
listen to. Yeah.
but it was okay because I could go on to the next episode. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah. 72. So yeah, they're dealing with the group after they had tried that other group of like cultists and stuff that was trying to raise some sort of thing while they're in like the farmhouse kind of deal. And they basically learn like to try to play with these people. It's kind of like an enemy of my enemy is my friend, almost kind of a thing going on. Um, yeah, because they explained to them about how Crowley is trying to get these things and he'll defile them and do this thing, and they're trying to stop Crowley from doing it as well. So it's like we're both are at the same kind of doing the same kind of goal, get it away from him. We're just going about it different ways. So that was interesting watching them play that out because it was a really tense moment. And what was your feelings on that episode 72 when they were discussing all that? Because Catherine was going off the rails for a minute there. Yeah. 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 Like Catherine was Catherine and what she totally was.
The most Catherine of Catherines.
Exactly. Most Catherine of Catherine. She's like, I will kill everyone in this room. I will do it. First starting with you.
He made a comment, Lauren, the player, made a comment in one of the episodes about how like every time she always feels like Catherine is freaking out, and then when Raz has her make sanity checks, she always makes them.
Yeah.
And then she, fails that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Big time. Big time film.
Yeah, she's always like in character. Her character portrayal is always very like she's freaking out, and then when she makes her rolls, she's like, "Well, I guess I'm not freaking out that much."
She can still emote. Just because she's not flipping out doesn't mean she has to like it. Vocally. Excellent.
I will say, like the casting that Ella was doing, like her character is just so. Kayla is such an excellent RPer that she just brings you into that like that moment, like you're in that with her when
she really draws you in. Yeah.
Her player is. Kayla is just so good. It's every time she does readings and stuff like that, that it just pulls me right in, just immediately grabs me, and I'm invested in it. And she did it again. I just
absolutely, yeah. And that's where Catherine, like loses it. I think we're moving into episode 73 territory, but yeah. She is not having none of it. Yeah, and yeah, it's like no, but yeah, her character is amazing in being able to, and yeah, I think I talked about it with Raz before about I think they rehearsed some of it, like or at least her with Raz, so that she knows what to say, or that would tie into the episode. I'm not saying she doesn't know how to chant or anything, but like if she can slide something in that's kind of relevant to what's happening or what's going to happen, because she's definitely down with the mythos. She knows what's going on. I think she alluded Ella had like a 25 mythos. That's a lot. Again, they said it in the game.
Yeah, I think it was like a 20 or 25, something like that.
That's a lot. And in game terms, I mean, that's a huge amount. You know, one of them was saying like, that's not very much. I'm like, you didn't know. No, that's a lot. I mean, and the thing is, you know, games mechanics wise, if you have that 25%, on your, as it affects your sanity big time, because, starting at like 99, like the max anyone can ever have in sanity is 99, you know, and like you're almost never going to fail your rolls, you know,
Right.
if you make a sanity check. But for every point of Cthulhu mythos, you count back from that 99, and that is your current max sanity. Like you will never have more than that. So she will never have, you know, more than 75 sanity. Ever, amen. Never ever.
Oh my gosh.
And the more she knows, the more it's going to knock you down. And that's the part of the mythos stuff. It's like you're knowing all this stuff you're not supposed to know, and it's messing with your head. And you know, everybody sooner or later, you know, the more they try to delve into it, they lose it. You know, they you know, their mind is not able to comprehend what's going on. You know, so yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It's just a scary thing.
Yeah. When Ella, when her player was telling me that, you know, telling the group that she had 25 Cthulhu mythos, I'm like, whoa, that's a lot. I mean, it's still hard, and it is, yes, it's still hard to make that roll. So yeah, you can spend luck to make that roll, because 25% is hard to make, and it makes sense because there's all that knowledge of that stuff out there. You only know like a tiny little bit.
You know? Like the more you know, the more you realize you don't know, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, like astronomers in the galaxy, you know, in the universe, there's so much more we don't know, you know, than what we know. That's exactly how it translates. Yeah, really great stuff there. You know, when she's talking about that and she's participating in that thing with them to talk to that thing in the pit. And I mean, at first when they were doing it, I'm like, are they calling Cthulhu? Because there is a spell you can call contact Cthulhu. It sounded like it. You know, or one of the other major, you know, entities. It's possible. Yeah. So yeah, you they're doing that bit, and it's intense, you know, and yeah, where it leads off of 73. What did you think about that when they're telling him, when they're asking it what it needs?
And it needs Sydney.
Yeah.
It's that like, ooh. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was my reaction when he said, you know, bring me Sydney Poulter. I was like, ooh. You know, like, it's just, I am so intrigued by what they want him for, by, you know, what's like Sydney, as much as I know, like being a part of Operation Poltergeist and stuff, like I know zero about Sydney, his actual character. So, you know, it's like, how is he either indebted to these people or these beings or whatever? Like, I don't know. I'm just intrigued. Intrigued would be my, and a little creeped out.
Because where we left him off, he was being attacked by those villagers in, you know,
I mean, presumed dead.
Outside of Nepal, right? Yeah, like the bloody jacket thrown over the cliff they keep alluding to and stuff like that. So yeah, whatever happened was not good. It wasn't great. It wasn't like they were throwing him a party, you know. It was definitely not Mardi Gras time. So, you know, so you know, good stuff with that.
I kind of was really kind of expecting more of a reaction from them, that there's an inkling that he's not dead. You know, like I was kind of surprised. Like I felt they were very subdued about this. You know, is there a possibility that he's not dead? Like they,
Mhm.
you know, their characters were just like, oh well, you know, that's, you know, he's gone. And I remember like Faye, her, she was very quiet in talking about what happened to him and stuff, like talking about the jacket. So like her voice is very quiet. So it was just very like, I thought they would be more excited that there's this possibility that he's still out there. Do you know what I mean? I don't know that I'm explaining
Yeah.
it. I was just, I felt
Yeah.
like they were very subdued and just kind of rolled with it when I thought they would be more, you know, excited.
Yeah, yeah, and you gotta wonder if it's the fact that they've been so jaded of what they've
Yeah.
encountered so far, you know, and in what kind of form is he coming back as? Is he coming back as, you know, something that's not alive anymore, or is he coming back alive? You know, one you want, one you don't kind of want. That's a kind of whole monkey's paw kind of a deal, you know. Um, so yeah, that itself is kind of grim. You know, yeah, I'd be kind of, you know, myself on that. You know, even though they have, you know, like the fond memories. So I like how they were in episode 75, like they were starting to talk about Sid and the things that they had and the photograph. And I mean, it's really cool how they're bringing like the essence of his character back into this game. And I
Mhm.
was just having a conversation with one of my GM friends about something like this. And he's like, yeah, if a character dies in like your campaign, do you bring them back through some other stuff, you know, for the other people? I'm like, yeah, all the time. You know, that's some of the best stuff. That's awesome role play moments, you know, because they've built a memory, you know, with that person, and to bring that person back in one way or other, even if it is like them, you know.
Right.
Uh,
It adds a dynamic that
yeah,
your players have already cultivated that, you know, anyway. So it's like you're really just elevating that dynamic, you know.
exactly. Exactly. So yeah, so they realize they have got to go to Sestival Pool. Is that right? Am I saying that right?
I think so.
Sesta something. Sestival. But they didn't realize they got to go there, and it's a long track. You know, they say like 1,000 kilometers. So yeah, like 2,000 miles, a little over
Mhm.
2,000 miles. You know, so it's a
Little POS truck that they're
yeah, the little, little barely, you know, half truck, half tractor. I think more like, you
well,
know.
I think at one point he said that they would be lucky to get like 20 miles an hour or something like
And that's
that
about right. Yeah,
with the
yeah,
conditions and stuff that they
yeah,
were driving in and
yeah.
pissing in the radiator.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing, you know, like cars and stuff at that time, their max speed was about 35, 40 miles an hour. I mean, you were flying at 35, 40 miles an hour, you know. Yeah, you're absolutely flying. Plus back then there wasn't hardly any paved roads,
Yeah, the
especially in Russia.
roads.
It's all, you know, country dirt roads. You are not flying down these roads, you know, in these trucks and cars that probably don't have treads, you know. You know.
It's something I know I say this all the time, but it's something like I I don't even think about stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
that, you know, that attention to detail that Raz has that
Hmm.
adds such a depth to the story. Like it wouldn't even cross my mind that they would be using, you know, vehicles that would only get them, you know, 20 miles an hour or
Yeah.
their roads weren't paved or, you know, like it's just that extra detail that really.
Okay. Oh, welcome back. Can you talk, Linda? I don't know if we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Indeed. Excellent.
Did you see where Raz said they just needed to take Sid's corpse?
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I didn't see that in the comments. No.
I must have misunderstood when I was listening. I must have misunderstood that because
Yeah.
I didn't get that impression,
Yeah.
but I might
No,
have just
because
not.
what the things are saying, because they're wondering like, well, if he's dead, and they're burrs, why can't they get him? You know. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I
Yeah.
must have just missed it. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he's going to be
Yeah.
playing a much larger part in that, or the remains of Sid to be playing a much larger part of that. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys that haven't heard that part yet. But yeah, this is about where I came in actually when I started.
Oh, really?
This is the part like when they were in the truck. When they were in the truck and things were looking grim, I'm like, holy crap, they are screwed again in this rattle trap of a truck. You know.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to figure that out. Like, how in the world are they going to make it out of this?
Yeah,
like, it does not look good, and they have a long distance to travel and don't have a great means to do it. So it seems it's very bleak and.
Yeah, like I said, in the rattle trap of a truck that looks like it's on the verge of breaking down already, and they're barely got 5 hours into their trip of what they imagine is going to be almost like a 2-week trek. You know, like
Raz is really good at setting these situations up, though. I've noticed he does it like every continent or every country.
Of it just being bleak, being absolutely bleak.
Okay.
So yeah,
there was a moment where Bottom told Catherine that she needed to calm down, and I was just like, "Are you fucking serious?"
That's the last thing you tell an irate woman.
When in the history of the world has that ever made someone calm down? He said, with all due respect, I think you need to calm down. And I was like, fuck, man. Why? Catherine, of all people, to say that to you.
I've done that a lot in like running games and stuff like that. Like one of the characters will be freaking out, especially if it's a feminine gender character. And like when the other people are like, okay, hey, we got to get this together. I'm like, why don't you just tell her to calm down? That always works. Tell her to calm down.
I think it really is effective if you add, I think you're overreacting. You should calm down.
That's another good phrase. Yes.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah, I just he said that and it stuck so like in my head. I was just like, why?
Yeah, just yeah. Why don't you just calm down? That always works for me. Every time.
I loved every one of these episodes because I feel like even though the first two had to deal with whether or not they were going to Italy and Ella trying to help with the ritual, they still seemed to end on cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Even when it was just, more of the role play than the action, it still felt like it ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And we got to see a lot more of what Ella could do as well.
Yeah, we were just touching on that. Yeah, especially when the part of 73 left off, when the thing in the pit's like, yeah, bring me Sidney Poulter, it's like, and we're gonna stop. Yeah, I can hear the players cussing already. It says he's saying stop.
It helped because Raz used a lot of the same voice he used with the what was it on the bridge in Vienna?
The
Shoggoth Lord.
Yeah,
it was a lot of the same voice. I had chills. Flashback.
That's what I said when he said, "Bring me Sidney Poulter." I was like, "Ooh!" Like went all through me. Like, yeah.
We're not having none of that. No. No. Exactly. Good stuff. But yeah, when we're in 75, and like you say, they're in that rattle trap of a truck again, and things are bad. Yeah, like it's breaking down. Like they have no idea how to keep this truck operating. None of them has ever worked on a truck. Only one of them can really drive.
Yeah,
Catherine's the only one who can really, really drive. Rest of them can. Yeah, they can make it go. But, yeah, and honestly, and even in the game book, it kind of tells you, if they're just going for a drive, you don't make them roll. It's when something is dangerous is happening. If they're trying to avoid an accident or if they're in a chase or something like that, then you make them roll. Yeah, or a snowstorm. You make them roll to keep control of the vehicle. Other than that, we're just driving. If you have, you can. We're just going. Yeah. We're just going. Just because you got 55% in your own language doesn't mean you need to roll every time you need to say everything. When you're
Yeah.
trying to communicate a concept that's a little hard, it might make you roll, or something like that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was telling my husband about the episode in the car earlier, and about them stuffing snow in the radiator, and he goes, "Well, they're lucky it didn't crack."
The engine didn't blow. Yeah, the engine didn't crack. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, any mechanic works the salt is like, and even when they were saying like there's black smoke coming out, I'm like, yeah, that's not radiator problem. It's white smoke if it's a radiator problem. Steam,
Black
basically.
smoke bad.
Black smoke's bad. Oil's
Very
burning,
bad.
bearings going out, like they were saying. It's bad. It's really bad. It's not good. so yeah, I love how they're thinking. We should have got horses. Should have. Yeah.
So 76 will be interesting because I know Raz has something planned.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Like, this was the worst cliffhanger that I feel like I've had, because it wasn't like terribly exciting. It was just like abrupt, and I try not to. At this point, now that I'm caught back up to where I was before, I don't want to listen ahead. I only listen to the 3 episodes that we're reviewing. I don't listen beyond that. So I'm like, are you fucking serious? I have to wait. Because I always listen to them immediately. And then I go back and listen to them a couple more times in that 2 week, this 2 week period. And when the first time I listened to it, I was just like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I got to wait so long to listen to the next episode.
Then we made you wait some more because we knew we were going
to
do stuff.
I want caught up by Origins, so I've got to pick up my pace.
I really debated that because I'm obviously going to the live show. Like, I've got to go to the live show. I've got to see that.
You guys definitely should. Yeah, so you can keep up with that. I mean, it's all you got. What, 2 months?
Mm-hmm. But my problem is that I find it difficult, and this is what I've faced before, because I had gone ahead. Once they got to Venice, I was like, I can't fucking wait. Like, I've got to listen. Got to listen to Venice. I've got to get through it. So I was ahead, and then I found when we were doing this, this review show, that it was difficult for me to remember where one episode cut off. So I felt like I had a hard time not, struggling over whether I was going to give a spoiler or something like that. So I'm like, I'll just listen to my 3 episodes. So I'm still debating whether I want to binge it and get caught up or.
That's fair.
But if you go back and you listen to those 3 episodes again, it should help.
Or just kind of skim through it.
I'll be honest. I listened last night, and I could not stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'd have been up at 3 a.m. if I started when I did.
Yeah, I mean, I listen most of the time at like 1.5 speed anyway, so I'm clipping through it pretty good. If I'm doing something, I'll listen to it at normal speed. But if I'm just sitting here, just paying attention to it, I'll clip it ahead at 1.5 speed, because you can still hear the inflection and the feeling of everything, what's going on. But you're picking it up some. So yeah.
I didn't like listening to it sped up as much.
That's fair.
But I'll do it if it looks like I'm in a serious time crunch. I won't go past 1.5 either.
Yeah, then it starts to sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. So yeah.
Yeah, and you can't take it seriously.
No.
I have a really lengthy commute, so it's not generally an issue for me to throw it on. Because I have almost an hour.
Yeah.
Every day.
You can get through an episode. Get through an episode easy doing that. Yeah. Yeah.
And then if he ends it on a cliffhanger like he does, then I'm sitting in my car listening to the next episode.
I had issues when I was driving the borrowed Camry, hearing everything well without thoroughly cranking it up. Mm-hmm. Or I don't know how far ahead I'd be after the drive to Chaosium Con.
Yeah, that's a lengthy drive. It's about 5 hours for each of us. We're coming from different areas, but it's still like 5. That drive back was not fun. I don't know about you guys. Again, it was just rain and wind, and that's a whole bunch of not fun. I give anything to not have to do that again. Yeah.
We took less time driving back because we made a lot of stops between Delaware, Ohio, and the destination in Ypsilanti. Mm-hmm. And I swear people kept moving Toledo. I'd see a sign, Toledo was 20 miles, and I swear I'd driven 30, and I still had another 15.
Yeah, it's just still roads just leading to it. But yeah, I
Toledo
hear
was a
you.
mirage on the horizon.
Exactly.
Coming back,
Exactly.
we stopped a lot, but we had to stop for bathroom breaks, which was good because it helped me wake up. That
There you
nice
go.
brisk air hitting my face.
Yeah, the wind and the rain. Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I mean, in the 75, they have like the wolves surrounding them. That's a tense moment,
Super creepy.
I'm like, they've got guns. I'm not really feeling bad for them unless something happens. They get some misfires and the wolves can close in on them. Then it's a bad situation. I wasn't feeling too bad because we had Master Hunter, there.
Yeah.
Amanda's favorite person.
But isn't he a lot more attractive now that you've realized how much damage he can take for them?
I mean, there's this. I feel like if I said that, I mean, I love Joel's ability to role play. So, I love Jack's character, but I don't love Jack's character.
Yeah.
I love how he's played. I think he plays him honestly. He plays him the way that kind of guy would be in that time of the world.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's very honest about what that character would be like in that time, time in our history. So I love that aspect of it. But I think you're kind of supposed to hate him. I mean, I feel like he's a jackass. Like,
he's a
yeah, I mean, he's pompous and arrogant, and he's meant to be that way. So I think I would be doing Joel a disservice if I said that he was growing on me.
I'm not slamming every guy who's ever belonged to a fraternity, because I know some great fraternity brothers, but he is like that pompous, entitled frat boy.
He's a bro.
That's exactly what I thought of the first time we met him.
He's a bro.
But
I love the whole conversation. He takes that initial wound from the first of the wolves, and everybody's like,
yeah,
I'd be all but dead. He's like, nah, just a flesh wound.
I did like Catherine's like, oh, he is bleeding out his femoral artery, and he's like, I don't think that happened. I remember taking a bite to the groin.
And he was not taking his pants off, by gosh, because then he'd have to take off his boots.
Let me fix that for you. Yeah. Nice. So that turned into I didn't think quite so threatening moment to, oh crap, they're in trouble again. Serious
and
trouble.
All they had was pistols.
Exactly. Serious trouble, and dealing with that and trying to figure out how much further they have got to go just to even get this part of it going. And they are screwed. Like, they're in the middle of a snowstorm in a broken down truck, 5 miles by driving back to at least get back to where they've been. So that's, double that easy. Walking.
With a tarp.
And under a tarp for shelter, at least almost a day's walking back, to try to at least get back there. They're in trouble where we left them off. It's a whole lot of not fun. But yeah, Amanda, I fully feel like you should, like during the live stream, have like a sign that you can flash up in every now and then, like #JacksonDouche. It's kind of just do one of these things.
I'm going to make you one for Origins.
See if you can get Joel to break character in the live stream. JacksonDouche.
I think Joel would murder me if I did.
He's later on. He's still a douche.
I'm thinking of taking Lauren a little miniature goat farm.
Oh,
nice.
She's earned it.
Nice. We're coming up on our half hour. Has anybody got anything else they want to talk about on these things?
I had one thing that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned was, for everybody that's listening and going through the podcast, I listened to 74 and it was very interesting. Like
the review?
The review. Like, I know it's not related to the podcast itself, but in progression of the podcast, but it was really interesting to listen to it. And Joel, kind of ran it, I guess, moderated it, whatever. So it was just very well done, and it was interesting to go through all of their moments from month to month to month of 2021. So I definitely recommend listening to it.
Oh yeah, it's a good way to review too, because again,
Mhm.
it's 73 episodes prior. That's a lot of material.
Yeah.
Last time on, but so that's a lot. And I kept thinking about it. I wish I had Raz here to discuss him with, and I'm like 73 episodes in 52 weeks. How was that done, man? The math isn't mathing. So yeah, maybe we can catch up with him next time. We can catch him on the review. But yeah, definitely, it's a great way to catch up and see what's going on. So much fun stuff with these guys. We can't wait to have them at Origins. It's going to be such a ride, such a fun ride. Seth's going to be with them. I think they're making moves now to episode to record like a few episodes, something with him. I think has Raz said anything to you about that, Amanda? You're kind of more behind the scenes on that than we are.
I know he did. I think some filming with Bridget.
Yeah,
but I don't know if he started like recording or doing anything with Seth. I'm not sure.
I think he's going to do like maybe one or two before the show to kind of introduce his character in or something. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see how that goes, how that plays out for everyone at Origins. It's going to be an amazing show, regardless of what they do. All this awesome talent at that table. I mean, that room's going to explode. I'm so glad I was able to get one of the larger auditorium rooms, because I was like, there's no way they're fitting us in a normal seminar room. That's just not going to happen. They're like, you can put 40, 50 in there. I was like, no, I need 100, 200 room. We're going to be edging towards the 200 room. Yeah.
I want to see it filled.
That's so awesome. That is so awesome.
Yeah. So I was really, really excited to have that done. If I can get the two of you to hang on after we do the end, but yeah, Melinda, is there anything you wanted to add on this? I'm not seeing. No, Melinda?
Hi. Yeah, I can.
I was saying before we close, is there anything you can add on this, or you wanted to say?
It's getting harder and harder to pick my favorite episodes.
That's fair.
I do not have that issue. That casting in Venice, where when he was casting the spell to send them back in time, and Catherine was saying the words out, that is my favorite moment so far, like to date, because I remember sitting in my car and it was dark and I was listening to that and I felt like I was spinning.
Right? A true euphoric feeling.
Yeah, it was like I felt like I was there and it was amazing. So I'm sorry, Melinda. I do have a I respectfully disagree for myself.
Those all impressed me because they were so well done. Because they were done like a ritual might be done. Those were impressive.
Yeah, that's fair. Mine still and always probably will be the graveyard.
Oh,
still the graveyard. I'm like, you're done. You're so done.
That was an excellent episode too. I actually went back not that long ago and listened to the very first episode just to kind of see, because in the review, episode 74, Lauren mentioned something about listening to the first episode. So I did go back, and it's so young. You know what I mean?
We knew them when, right?
They're still summer children.
Faye says she has matured a lot since she went running headfirst at the show.
Right.
It's been a whole year.
I want to say, like, it hasn't really been that long in like actual
game time. Game time. No, it's been a few months. It's been a few months.
Yeah.
I mean, they went from like what, maybe late summer, fall into winter. You know, I think it's what I feel like. I can't remember what the season it actually was when they were in England, you know, doing the museum thing. But I'm wanting to say it was like summer.
Yeah, I want to say it was like summer because I don't remember like the elements being any contributing factor.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, yeah, mine's always will be the graveyard. I mean, that the scene in Venice is a really close second again for that euphoric feeling. I mean, I'm like you, I completely got wrapped up in it. That whole we are going, man. They really transported not just the characters but the audience. I felt it. I mean, that's like almost like Wizard of Oz, the house is spinning,
Right.
kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You like put your foot down, like, hey, am I still on the ground? Is that very good? Exactly.
See the counting. That is so good. Oh my gosh, that is spot on. That is how that would have been done. That's
Yeah. Excellent. All right, well, we're going to wrap up the review. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, and we'll keep going on through our track. Have a great one, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Take care.